Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm a teacher. I want to try and set up a forum where teachers can share ideas. Um, there's loads of really good things out there already on like Twitter and on blogs and other resources, but I wanted to rather optimistically try and put them all together. Um, the format I'm aiming for is um, I will try and upload a video onto YouTube every week about a certain topic, whether it be AFL or differentiation or getting in primary clusters or open-ended tasks or whatever. And then in the subsequent video, review the sort of best comments and ideas and then introduce the next topic. Just to introduce myself a little bit, like I say, my name's Matt. I've been head of department now, head of maths for about a year, and it's been brilliant, difficult but interesting, and I've learnt a lot. And it's rather the reason I'm doing this now is, well, for a couple of reasons. One, when you go onto YouTube and type in what is it like to be a teacher, there's nothing. So I thought it would be quite good to add to that. I've only recently thought of the idea, and thirdly, it's quite timely for me because, like I say, I finished being a head of department for a year, yet there's loads of challenges next year. So all maths and English teachers have an entirely new framework to adjust to. We've got an entirely new scheme of work because of it. For the first time, we're going to have mixed ability classes in year 7 and 8. We're probably due an Ofsted, although we always are, because Norfolk schools specifically are, there's a lot of pressure on them to become an academy, which we're not at the moment. So there's a lot of things that are probably going to happen over the next year. So I'll have quite a few talking points then. But yeah, that's what I'll talk about this video as an easy introduction, and then next week we'll talk about other things. I've sort of planned the next 20 ideas, but today I'll just kind of talk about academies because, well, I spoke about it briefly then, and it seems to be in the news a lot. If you go on my Twitter page, I put loads of links up, and you can see them there as references. Just as a heads up though, these videos and the discussions that we have, or debates we have afterwards, they're not supposed to be political in the slightest, but I am a teacher and these are entirely my views. I think it's probably worth sharing them with you, and what I'm actually really interested in is to see if there's anyone out there who thinks or has evidence that academies work. So some of the things that have come out in the news recently, I'll start with something that came out in January, and that was from the Education Select Committee, who wrote a report and concluded that there is no clear evidence to show that academies raise overall standards, despite what the government say. In fact, Nicky Morgan says, the Education Secretary says, academies are central to delivering the best schools. That's slightly contradictory. And what was quite poignant was that just a couple of weeks ago, the Sutton Trust, which is a really good educational charity who do lots of reports, they did a study on 34 academy organisations, which included 156 academies, and of those 34 clusters, they found that when looking at the disadvantaged pupils, 11 of the 34, the disadvantaged pupils did better than the mainstream average. One was kind of negligible difference, and the other 22 of those 34 academies did worse than the average mainstream disadvantaged child. So you're twice as likely to do worse, it seems, in an academy. Now, this is all sort of based on evidence and data, as opposed to idealistic, sometimes seemingly made-up claims from the government. There's a couple of other interesting points. Again, I think I put these all on my new Twitter feed, which is at IamAteacher15. So yeah, there was an academy in Northumberland recently, was rated outstanding 2 years ago, but has since been put into special measures. Ely College was recently praised for its vision. A few weeks later, the Department of Education rated it inadequate. In a week, all 4 schools in the Telford Academy were put into special measures. This happened very recently. There's a free school in Birmingham. I think it's called Birmingham Free School. It's cost £7 million. David Cameron claimed it to be a real success story. That's just gone into special measures. And despite all this evidence, and okay, these might be rare examples. It doesn't look like it, but they might be. The government have said that they announced just last month in the Education and Adoption Bill that there are going to be 1,000 schools that are rated currently inadequate they're going to be academies, as if that's the solution. They've also said that they want to create 500 more free schools. And free schools seem to be, such as the same sort of problematic issues as academies, it seems. I may be wrong. It just seems that excuse me. I know from the people I work with and my friends and so on that 99% of the people that go into education, they go into it for entirely the right reasons. They want to transform lives, they want to educate, they want to inspire, they want to motivate. It seems to me that the remaining 1% have the power. They will sort of ignore statistics and data and try and build their own agendas. And it kind of seems hypocritical to me that the government, and again I don't want to get too politically heavy, but they want to force schools to include British values in all of their schemes of work. So I question that, is it a British value to only do something well in order to sell it on as a commodity? Because schools now, they seem to be businesses, and the reason they are trying to get pupils excellent results is only to self-purport themselves to be fantastic schools and get investments and so on. And that's not what schools should be about. Schools should be about inspiring students. That, when you teach a child, it shouldn't be entirely because you think that they will benefit in a monetary way. They should learn things because it's interesting, or because they feel passionate about it, or because they think it's relevant or helpful in a way. This whole push to force schools to become academies, and I say force, I actually put an article from The Independent on my feed earlier this morning saying that Gove gave schools £65,000 to persuade them to become academies. So, yeah, it seems like schools are being forced to become academies, and actually maybe what we should be doing is thinking about it in a different way and actually realise, going back to basics and worrying about the quality of teaching and parental support and what we're doing in our communities and so on, not just trying this quick fix, which, given the huge amount of evidence, suggests that academies just don't work. Yeah, anyway, quite heavy, sorry, but firstly, if you've got any comments on academies or free schools, whether you agree or whether you think actually they're really good and they've helped my child, or they've helped me as a teacher, so on, please comment either under the YouTube video or on my Twitter feed. I'm not expecting so many this week, so far I think I've got about 16 followers, but any will be appreciated. And then next week we'll go over some of those comments, and then we'll talk about I've suggested teacher assessments, so marking and feedback. Got quite a few ideas there that I'd quite like to share with you, and I'm hoping for more from you. And I probably should have said this at the beginning, but I really want this new forum to be one for secondary teachers, primary school teachers, special needs teachers, TAs, counsellors, governors, parents, anyone who's interested at all, trainees. So please, there's no sort of wrong answers or anything. We're all in it together. We're all trying to get the best from our kids. So the more you comment, the more helpful I think it will be. I think I've waffled on enough. Until next week. Bye.